Broadcasting from an undisclosed location under a farm pond somewhere in the Midwest. Your host is Jim Crowley. This is Slickfish Radio. Hey everybody, welcome back to Slickfish Radio. See some of you clicking on already. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're going to have a fun time tonight because we're going to be talking to Pat Bowden about the second annual high school bass fishing teams conference that's going to be in St. Louis. I'm actually I'm blessed to be a part of that, and we're going to talk to Pat about that, about how this developed and how this came about and how much it's growing. This is so cool, getting all these young anglers involved, and Pat's going to let us know exactly what's going on because this thing continues to grow, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And this is a good thing for kids. The more that bass fishing grows and grows in high school and the college, it's all collegiate. It's going to be a good thing to hear about, and it's going to be in the St. Louis area. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Got some things to tell you. Really, really excited. Some of you may have saw the post out on Facebook this week. Wired to Fish TV continues to grow. I think we're on 7 or 8 different streaming channels now, and starting in the new year. We just signed Fubu as well as LG, which is gonna blow up Wired to Fish TV. It's going to be awesome. We're really, really excited about this because we're going to have, I think right now we're streaming something like 60,000 plus minutes a day on Wired to Fish TV. And I'm thrilled that my show is now on 7 days a week, Monday to Friday. A lot of you know that it's on at 4 p.m. And then on Saturdays and Sundays, it has 1 hour blocks. And so we're getting ready to start. We've already started filming season 2. There's going to be some really cool stuff in there. We're going to be even more technique specific in season 2. We're going to talk a lot more different techniques. We're going to have a little bit of saltwater in there this year. We're actually going down to the Everglades. We're going to be doing some tarpon fishing in March. I'm going to be building a tarpon rod on the show, and then we're going to take it and we're going to hopefully, God willing, we're going to go catch a tarpon. So it's going to be really cool. But there's a lot of good stuff coming. Seminars are back in full steam again. Thank the good Lord. I'm going to be one of the speakers for the All Canada show again this year. I'm going to be back in the Quad Cities. We're going to be doing more things for Shields in the upcoming weeks. We're going to talk a little bit more in depth to you about something that Shields in Springfield is offering, and that's going to be called Shields Bass Academy. I'm going to be holding 3 classes there. They're all free, one in January, February, and March, and it's open to anybody. Last year, we had a great time, and we're going to expand on that this year because Shields loves the idea of bringing family, friends, collegiate anglers, everything together and just talk bass fishing, and they give us a free venue to do that. So it's really, really cool. So obviously, I want to thank Shields in Springfield, Illinois, for being part of the show. Want to thank my friends at American Tackle. We've got even more exciting stuff coming from American Tackle. Make sure you stay tuned for the end of the show where we give you a discount code for them. But we are growing even more with American Tackle, and there's going to be some really cool things that we're going to all be doing together. Explore Lacrosse. I think I'm heading back up there again next month to do some ice fishing again. We did the perch show last year, which a lot of you said was really, really awesome. And there's just going to be some really, really cool stuff that I'm excited about because Lacrosse is such a great area. I'm going to be writing blogs for Explore Lacrosse to tell you all about the adventures, where we stay, what we eat, what we do when we're there, along with the fishing. So a lot more going on with the Explore Lacrosse tourism. Fantastic people, and just a great place to take your family. We are powered, as always, by Dakota Lithium. We're going to actually have Craig Storms on from, hey, Randy, how you doing, buddy? Randy just chimed in. We're going to be talking with Craig Storms from Dakota Lithium in the new year because Dakota Lithium has so many new products. Hi, Jim Colba. How you doing? I'm sure Savannah's there with you. Great to have you guys here. So just a lot of great things. And I need to tell you this before we bring Pat on. And I know I say this all the time, and I know it's repetitive, but I really want to thank all of you for helping this show grow the way that you have, because I wouldn't be able to have this if it wasn't for all of you tuning in. And the sponsors are seeing it, which we really appreciate, obviously. But the nice thing is we've built a nice community here people that listen to the show and people that pass this on. So I'm very, very thankful for that. I'm very fortunate to know a lot of great people in the industry and getting to know more and more all the time. So it's very good for them to share their time and their stories with us, because it's interesting to me as well as the rest of you. And I'm so glad that you're all a part of it. With that being said, let us bring in my friend, Pat Bowden. Good looking. How are you?
Look, you're looking good too, my friend.
See, that's
Doing
what
good.
happens when you get older. Pat and I were talking about that. Anybody who tells you you're good looking, you just go great and you roll with it. So that's
Yeah,
great.
absolutely.
How you doing? I know you're busy working, but you guys are getting ready for this conference, and I know you're excited about it, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely. This is just a an explosion of activity, and it started a couple of years ago, and it is just growing exponentially. The high school bass fishing teams are hidden gems. You'll have your lacrosse teams, your football teams, wrestling teams, and this little tiny corner of high school sports called bass fishing. But it is growing exponentially, and it is just a major thing to be a part of, and we are just excited. As of last January, we made history here in the St. Louis area with the very first St. Louis Regional High School Bass Fishing Teams Conference to ever take place in Missouri. And we drew people from the St. Louis region and also from southwestern Illinois. And so it's even growing more this year, of course. And thank you so much for being a part of it. And I'm going to be there, and I know you got lots of good stuff to share to these kids, and we really want to give them a leg up.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I know one of my companies, Lure Parts Online, has chipped in for this. I know American Tackle is throwing in a rod that they want me to bring and give to one of the kids down there. I may even have a couple more surprises for you. I don't know. I'm talking to some other people, but I've always had a heart for bringing the kids into the
Yeah,
sport, because I'm just a big kid myself. All I am
absolutely.
is I'm just older. The sport still excites me more every day now that I've gotten older than it even did when I was younger, and I never thought that was possible. But to be able to contact and talk with these kids and be able to see their passion. I've always been attracted to people, to groups that have passion for the things that I believe in. And I think when you and your group started this, your heart was definitely in the right place. And you and I have talked about this because we both have a faith in Jesus Christ.
Yes.
And where this grew from a passion of wanting to give back. And I know Luz and Strike King have really helped you out with this,
Yes.
along with a lot of other great sponsors. But, we talk about a lot of different things on the show. And I talk to a lot of pros about this. And it's just, in a lot of cases, faith intertwines into what we're doing about. And I know that's a big part of that. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how this all got
Sure.
involved and how that played a part in it?
Sure. Being a Christian, I always look at life probably a little bit different than some people that aren't Christian. And the reason I say that is that there's certain things that God will cause to happen in our lives, and paths to cross, just like yours and I's
Right.
path have crossed, and it's all to further His work. And so I look at those things as not just mere coincidences, but I call them divine crossings. And so with that, interesting story enough, my partner Rod McGrew, who's the other regional pro staff guy for Luz and Strike King here in the St. Louis area. We happened to be able to have a day on the lake with Brian Snowden down on Table Rock.
Cool. Cool.
And so, leading up to that, we had been doing onesie twosie seminars with high schools. We'd phone them and talk to their team coaches and find out if indeed they wanted for us to come in and do a free seminar for their kids. And so that's what we did. There were three of us, two of us that were regional for Luz and Strike King, and another friend of mine who happens to be my team partner when we fish our club events. We went in and began to do these seminars. Well, we're on the lake with Brian, and we're out there fishing, and he's asking, well, what have you been up to? And we're talking to him about what have you been up to. And so we kind of told him that yeah, this is what we've been doing. It's been great. It's been fun. And he said, "Have you guys ever thought about doing anything bigger?" And I said, "Well, like what, Brian? What are you talking about?" He said, "Well, what would it be like to get multiple high schools together and do one major conference with multiple speakers?" Light came on, and that was one of those divine crossings where I probably wasn't thinking that big at the time. But we said, "Yeah, what a great idea." And so he volunteered to be at our very first one as one of our speakers. And one of his raffle prizes that he offered was a day on the lake with him. And the kids that won it, the one young kid that actually won it, almost broke down in tears, and he was hugging his partner next to him, saying, "We're doing this, we're going." And so we began to form out of what we could do to get this event off the ground. We didn't charge the kids anything. We started ramping up, and we had reached out to 13 schools, I believe, to as many coaches as we could get our hands on. And doggone it, COVID hit.
Yeah.
And so we initially set it for 125 kids, and we wound up roughly around 75 that were able to make it during the COVID period. And but it went off great. We had 5 speakers. We had great sponsorship, not only from Lose and Strike King, my companies, but from other companies that were out there willing to help these kids. And so it went from this little onesie twosie kind of Saturday morning or afternoon seminars to this full on. We got several high schools coming. And so we have to provide food, and we have to get sponsorship and all this. And so before it was even done, we had schools coming up to us after during that first conference, courting us to have it at their school. And so we had to fall back and regroup and see what our next one would look like. And under I want to say guidance from some of the pros that we have on our team, and various pros that we ran into when we were all together down at Bass Pro Shop in Springfield for their 50th anniversary, kind of giving us a better idea of when we would be best to have our next one. And so it came up to be around December 10th. A lot of things go on. Different high schools are done with some sports. Some are going into Christmas activities, and some of the pros are done, but they may be in a deer stand like I've been.
You're right.
And so the bottom line is we ran with it. We got our contacts, and again, thankfully, God crossed our paths finally to meet in person.
Right.
And, and we got this thing going. And so now we are we're at the phase that we're beginning to tie everything up. And so we've got our schools already involved. Our marketing guy who handles the marketing side of our St. Louis, or excuse me, let me back up, the STL Bass Fishing Alliance, that is the umbrella over the logistics of this event. He says, "Why are you guys just doing this regional?" He said, "We need to take this national and get more high schools involved." And I got a little bit weak in the knees, to be honest with you.
Sure.
That's big. I mean, we're doing good to be just central regional right now. But
it's just one step at a time, right? You can't, because you don't want to run before you can walk.
Exactly.
And there's a lot more to talk about. We're going to take a break here in a second. I want to say hi to a couple people. Hi, Mark Dyer. Mark just joined. He said, "Hi, Jim and Pat." Hi, Mark. Thanks for joining in. We're going to take a little bit of a break right here. We're going to come back with Pat, and I want to talk with him about what is actually going to happen at this event, and if it's already complete for this year, how maybe, because I know there's people chiming in from Illinois about how maybe some of those teams can get and come down for next year. And so we're going to be back with Pat. I do what I always say, what Pat Sajak used to say. We're going to be back in 2 and 2, and we'll continue our talk with Pat Bowden about the second annual high school teams conference in St. Louis, Missouri. Be back right after this. American Tackle is home to the award-winning microwave line control system. Rod blanks to reel seats, ferrules to finish, grips to guides. They're committed to the very best in rod building components. Find out more, americantackle.us. With fishing beyond your expectations, indoor and outdoor activities, a vast variety of places to eat, drink, and stay. Discover your next adventure between the bluffs. ExploreLaCrosse.com. Located in Springfield, Illinois' largest selection of sports and sportswear, hunting, fishing, specialty shops and services, a 65-foot Ferris wheel, 16,000-gallon saltwater aquarium, and industry-leading knowledgeable employees. You don't take chances at Shields, ever. Go to Shields.com. Believing quality is measured by lifespan and harnessing their unique chemistry and engineering know-how. Dakota Lithium lasts 4 times longer, powering your passion with an 11-year warranty. Find out more, DakotaLithium.com.
Slick Fish Radio with Jim Crowley can be seen and heard on Roku, Fire TV, Spotify, Amazon Music, and iTunes.
There we go. Come here. Get in here. Yeah, nice fish right there. Hi, I'm Jim Crowley. Make sure you catch my show, Jim Crowley Outdoors, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, exclusively on Wired to Fish TV. Look for Jim Crowley Outdoors on Wired to Fish TV on free, ad-supported streaming TV, including Plex, that can be downloaded in the App Store at Apple TV, Roku, Samsung, and others. We're back with Pat Bowden. We were talking about the second annual high school teams conference that's coming up in St. Louis, Missouri, December 10th. Don Morse, my friend Don Morse from Florida just chimed in. Hi, Don. He says, good evening, Jim and Pat. Don, nice to have you. Hope Landon's with you. Say hi to him for us. Pat, so people are, if they want to know more about, so what can they expect when they come to this conference? I mean, there's going to be, just tell them what's involved for the day.
Sure. Actually, it's a by registration only. Mm-hmm. And it's only a $10 fee for the kids and the boat captains. So but what's going to happen is that when the doors open, the kids come in and they're going to get pre-registered and they'll have their name tags and we'll have our speakers set up for the day. And so it's basically like a high school day for these guys. They will be assigned into different groups. We're trying not to keep school teams together. We want them to intermingle with the other kids so that they can maybe broaden their experience level or maybe talk to some of their competitors, but get to know them a little bit more. And so we kind of want to open that door for those guys as well. And so what they'll do is they will enter into the building. They'll get set up. And then we're off to the races. The kids will go into their class rotations. They'll be in there roughly 45 minutes, and they'll be getting, I know that you're going to be bringing your A game and so are the other speakers, and they're going to get a wealth of knowledge. Now, during lunchtime, we have a university, actually McKendree University coach bringing 2 of his anglers down. And we want them to speak to these boys and girls that are fishing on the high school teams to hear a little bit about the next step out of high school. Where and when do I start that? A lot of notion is, well, I don't have to worry about anything till I'm a senior, and then I'll go look around. Now, the thing is they want you to get into the college search freshman year, start building your tournament name and all that with your high school. So that's pretty much where that's going to go. Then we'll have our afternoon classes kick back up again, and then the kids will begin to rotate back through those. And at the very end of the day, we'll have a question and answer time back in the main auditorium with all the speakers so that they can answer any questions that are open at that point. We'll also, this year is the first time we've opened up to vendors and having vendor booths. We want to see some local companies get involved and be there. And so they're going to come in and set up their booths. Again, Strike King and Lose will be there with a very large booth because, this kind of rides under their hat. But anyway, we open it up to some local vendors and it's been awesome.
Is Mike from Strike King going to be there?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Good. I always love him. Mike, what a hard worker, man. I love seeing him. He's every time I pull in somewhere, it seems at a show, no matter where it is, we run into each other and just like, yep, doing the same thing.
Yeah, Mike Usler.
Yeah, Mike, he's just such a great ambassador of the
Oh, he
sport.
is.
Ran into him at Bass Pro Shops in your booth, when you and I were talking
Yep.
there, and ran into James Niggemeyer there, who was just on the show a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
And just Strike King has so many, there's such really, really good guys. Or James was great on the show. It's always great talking to Mike. I enjoy these guys. I enjoy seeing them because I know they have the passion, for the sport. I want to say hi to some people. Landon says hi. Hi, Landon Morse. How you doing? My buddy Andy Wagner is on. So hi, Andy. How you doing? Andy's actually from the St. Louis area. So,
Hi, Andy.
and you probably chimed on just because you said something about the St. Louis Blues. I'm telling you, that's the only reason probably Andy chimed in tonight. That's just him. He's bass fishing on one side and the Blues on the other. So I'm sure he's probably having a beer, going talk more about the Blues. So. But I'm looking forward to this now. Who are a couple of the other speakers? I know you said I'm going to be there, and like I said, I'm blessed that you asked me. I really appreciate it. But who are a couple of the other guys who are going to be there that we have right now?
Right, Brian Snowden for sure. He's going to be there. Chad Morgan-Thaler is going to be there.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and of course you're going to be there. And my mind just went blank. I think
that's okay.
Birthdays.
Well, that's okay, because I know there's going to be 3 or 4 different guys there, and I know everybody's going to talk about different things. I'm going to do some smallmouth tactics for the guys that you and I thought would be good, because as some of these guys grow in their professional fishing, they'll be going to different parts of the country, and it's not just going to be largemouth. That's some of these. Look, my beautiful wife Rhonda says hi, guys. So, and Rhonda's going to be helping out at this event too. She's going to be joining. Your wife, I corralled her, or asked her nicely, and kind of corralled her into doing this. And she said, yeah, that'd be fun. We're gonna have a great time. But I wanted to bring some smallmouth stuff, some specific smallmouth techniques that I think these guys should know, whether it be jerk baits or hair jigs, drop shot, what are some other things that they should know, and go through the setups with them and go through things. So I'm really looking forward to that. Just because I've done a lot of these high school and college things, and not in this kind of venue, but I've done things for Bass Pro Shops in the past. I'm working with Shields now and doing a lot of stuff with them, and it's fun to see these inquisitive minds and see the wheels turning and see the fire and the passion in their eyes. And I'm looking forward to that, because that was me. It still is me. And I'm really looking forward to talking to these kids. And I think it's absolutely incredible what you guys, what God has led you guys to do, to put this together, to put your time, to put your effort, and everybody and all the companies together that have got involved in this. This is going to be a really, really special thing. Now, before we let you go, everybody stay on afterwards, because I want to tell you a couple more announcements after we let Pat go. But Pat, if somebody, because I think you're about full up for where you're going to be for this year.
Right.
But if somebody wants to get involved with this, now I know there's coaches on here tonight that will see this from Illinois teams. This is only a 2.5 hour drive, guys, and the effort and the time and what they've put into this, I think this is worth telling your students, telling the members of your team about, because they're going to pull something from this. They're going to get something. You are never too old in the sport to learn something, or learn something from somebody. And especially some of these pros that are going to be here, even the guys that are at the regional level, they all have something they can offer you, because they've all been through what you're going through now. And just so these high school kids know, there are major companies out there right now, and I know Strike King and Lose is one of them. I can tell you Rapple is another one, that are looking at these kids now. You may not know they're looking at you, but they are looking at you, because they are getting ready to draft just like professional sports teams do, and they're looking back as high school. You need to know that it's more about catching fish. You need to get on your game. And Pat, there's going to be a lot of things there that can benefit them, isn't there?
That's right. Absolutely. Our fourth speaker that we have on the list right now is Brian Maloney. How can I forget Brian? He's a great guy, great bass angler.
Yeah.
And has won some good prizes. I'm telling you, he's awesome, and he's going to be a great teacher. But yeah, for these guys, we don't know out of this group who's going to be the next one that crosses the stage at the Bassmaster Classic, or at the, maybe an MLF,
right? You don't know.
Yeah, we just don't know. I know that every meeting, every logistic meeting that we have, we start off in prayer, and we'll go have our meal, and this is not mine. This is not what I do. It's in God's hands.
Right. It's not ours.
and he's helping, and it's great. What a great place to be. What to help these kids. It just, I almost, even now I'm getting choked up thinking about it. We got so much to offer these guys and leave a legacy.
Right.
I used to fish national level. When I hit 50, I said, I'm a little done with that. I've got other things I'd like to do. And this is what I want to do, is leave that legacy for these kids.
And what a great thing to do. And my buddy Don Morris from American Tackle just chimed in. He said, all the glory to God. And that's exactly what happens, because there's a reason we're doing this. There is a reason that you were started on this path. We've said there's a reason that our paths have crossed. And it is better for us to leave behind or give something more so these kids can make it greater than anything that we've ever done. That's the important thing. That's the important thing, is to give them the good tools to be able to move on and learn from those who came before them, so they can make it better for the next generation when they do it. Now, just real quickly before we let you go, Pat, if somebody wants to look into this for next year, give them this. What do they need to do? Where do they need to go?
Great. Okay. What you'll need to do is you can reach out to me, Pat Bowden. You can either hit me on Facebook and, private message me, or you can contact me at STL Bass Fishing Alliance LLC, and go ahead and send me something in the snail mail at 731 Crompton Court, Crestwood, Missouri, 63126. And we are still taking donations for raffle prizes. So if someone is touched out there and wants to do that, you'll put those raffle prizes to the same address. Again, you can reach out to me on Facebook or on Instagram.
I was going to tell them they could private message you on Facebook.
On Facebook too. And Instagram, Fishing with Pat.
There you go. So just look up Pat Bowden. If you guys have any questions, if anybody can't find this or doesn't see this and hears about it later, blah, 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 whatever, because later the show is going to be on Roku. It's going to be on Fire TV. It's going to be on iTunes, Amazon Music, and Spotify. And I also want to welcome the new viewers from YouTube tonight. We're back up on YouTube live too. So if anybody wants any information at this, you can, if you want to know anything more about the second annual High School Teams Bass Fishing Conference in St. Louis, Missouri, you can easily email me at jim@jimcrowleyoutdoors.com. Find me all over Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. And obviously my tag on YouTube is @JimCrowleyOutdoors. Just reach out to me. I will put you in contact with Pat, and we will get your teams here. It will benefit you. It will benefit these teams. It will benefit these kids individually. This is going to be an absolutely great event. Pat, my friend, I look forward to seeing you. I know we're going to talk beforehand. I'm pumped about this. I'm going to see if I can get more stuff to bring. But bottom line, we're going to have fun. We're going to rock and roll this, and these kids are going to have a blast, and they're going to learn a lot and have a heck of a lot of fun. You know it. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, buddy. God bless you, man. We'll see you soon. Okay, same to you. Bye. This is going to be such a cool thing. I'm so excited about this event. I'm also going to be doing another event, I think in February, for with a Shields type thing going on with it. I love these events. I love getting the high school and college anglers here and pass on a knowledge. And we do a lot of the stuff that I talk about usually is about the industry and also about some of the things that have worked really, really well for me. But I look forward to meeting the other anglers. Some of them I know, some I don't. And I'm looking for Ted Koski just chimed in. Hi, Ted. Hi. Ted's a longtime fan of the show. Thank you, Ted, for being here. All of you tonight. My goodness, that have chimed in tonight. God bless you all. Thank you for tuning in. And I hope you learned out more about the second annual conference, because this is going to grow. It's going to continue to grow. These guys have a heart for God. Their hearts are in the right place, and they're going to grow this event. And it's going to be awesome for these kids to come and learn from not only experienced anglers, both about the business side as well as other techniques, but just to talk with other anglers. And the more they go forward, when you work in this industry, catching fish, and a lot of times is the smallest part of it. And these kids are actually being watched, and I'm serious, by bigger companies when they go to high school, especially when they go to college. And if this is what they want to do, thank God we've gotten to the place where bass fishing is taken seriously like this. And a lot of it started back with the IHSA concert. And I always say thank you to Terry Brown and the people that started with him from Wired to Fish, because they started this. There's a lot of offshoots and things like this, but they started this. It was their passion to do this, and they started it, and things have grown for this. We made this a sport, and this is growing. And I think it's awesome I think it's absolutely awesome that more people are getting involved with the right mindset, with the right hearts, and giving these kids the opportunity and passion that we all have to drive this forward for them. So I'm really excited about this conference. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And if you want to know more about this, like I said, just email me, contact me. I'll put you in contact with Pat, and he will lead you and your team in the right direction. So again, I want to thank him for being on here. I want to thank American Tackle. Again, we're going to be having some really, really cool stuff with American Tackle coming up in the new year. That's going to be a lot of fun. Explore La Crosse. Like I said, I'm going back up there ice fishing. But if you've never been to the La Crosse region, absolutely beautiful area. So many things to do there, from hotels and restaurants and Airbnbs and everything. You name it, the La Crosse region has got it. My great, great friends at Shields, I love them all so much. They're absolutely fantastic people. If you want to go somewhere and learn more about whatever you do, from bicycling to running to fishing to hunting, whatever, Shields is the place to go. They are wonderful, wonderful people. We are powered, as always, by Dakota Lithium with their 11-year warranty. Half the charging time, nobody does it better, nobody does it stronger, nobody does it longer than Dakota Lithium. We're very, very thankful to have all of them. Before we leave tonight, I want to show you a couple things. From my friends at American Tackle, I want to give you this code right here. You want 20% off anything from American Tackle Angler Products. That's rods, that's reels, that's whatever. Go to AmericanTackleAnglerProducts.com, put in the code JCO20. You get 20% off all the time, every time. Go to AmericanTackleAnglerProducts.com, put that code in. Hey, looking for some other stuff? You looking for the #1 selling reel on Amazon? That's from Cast King. You want to see some other great stuff out there? Use the reels that I'm using, and we're going to be going into more of that as the season goes on. Use the code JC52AFF. 20% off anything, all the time, every time at Cast King. JC52AFF. Some things to tell you. Next week, great, great show coming up. We are going to have the president of Pride One Camo, Stacy Walker, to talk about some new stuff in camo. And Stacy's just always a ball to talk with. She's been a big supporter of my show and my activities almost since they started. We've become really good friends with her and her husband, Lance, and they have great products all over the country. If you go into a gas station and see hats or sunglasses or something like that, chances are it's probably Prime One. Camo has it. They're all the camo that we use on the show, both fishing and hunting, and just great people. Do not miss this show next week. We're also going to have discount codes for you, especially for you deer hunters. Don't miss next week, because we're going to get a little bit some of the new camo and some of the new stuff that they have for deer and big game hunters. And of course, obviously, we're going to talk fishing. We got a couple more comments coming in. I want to thank you, Mark Dyer. Thank you, Ted Koski. I really do appreciate all your kind words and comments. So again, I want to thank all of you. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for such a fun show. As I always say, and I will continue to say, we would not have a show if it wasn't for all of you. God bless you. Till next time, I'm Jim Crowley. See you soon.